What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Sheehan Show here on Sherdog.com, and today it is your best bets for the week as UFC 279 is coming up this weekend. KSW as well. I'll have a look at a couple of bets for that. Really good KSW card actually this weekend, so we'll have a gander at a couple of those bets. Pretty good week last week. I believe 3 out of our 4 bets cashed, and you know, the Flier, we want to talk about the Flier. So it's been it was a pretty good week last week, and we've had a couple of good weeks, so we'll keep that train going here as we get into the big pay-per-view card. Please bet responsibly, as I say always. Keep it fun, you know, maybe make a couple of the undercard fights exciting, throw a fiver on here or there. You know, don't go mad, don't go insane, don't lose all your money or anything like that. Please keep it fun when you're betting, especially with my betting tips as well, because I'm looking at it obviously from a mixed martial arts point of view more than anything else. Also, please keep the comments coming in the comment section. I love that last week you were all giving me abuse, saying that I compared Robert Whittaker to Jack Hermanson, when like I compared their movements at times. People are acting like as if I was saying Jack Hermanson and Robert Whittaker. Calm down, lads. But I'm only joking. Keep the comments coming. I love it. And also, if you're commenting this week, say whatever you want, but let me know what your bet is. Let me know your bet for UFC 279. I'll go back next week if I get enough of them in, and I'll have a look. And whoever picked out the best bet, you'll have the bet of the week. So let us know in the comments section. Give your best bet, and we'll try to make this a regular thing as well. Every pay-per-view event maybe, and see who has the best bet. And maybe at the end of the year, I might be able to get a prize for you or something. I don't know, lads. Maybe we'll see. No, that is not a promise in any way. Now, maybe the prize is like a follow from me on Twitter. So maybe that, you know, maybe. But yeah, let us know your bets in the comment section below. It's actually a very interesting week in the world of betting, or weekend in the world of MMA betting, because there's lots of very interesting undercard fights in this in terms of betting, I think. And maybe that's the fact that we don't have, even though my first bet is going to be from the main event, we don't have a massively bet-friendly main event, I suppose you could put it that way. With a massive favourite, obviously, and the card itself isn't the most stacked card in the world in terms of like title fights or #1 contender fights or anything like that. There are lots of good people who, you know, there's a couple maybe possible #1 contender fights, or one anyway at least, but nothing like, no regular fighters that everyone would know week in, week out type of names. So it does leave a few interesting fights underneath though that we will have a look at. Right, first fight, I'm going to get the first bet. No more messing about here. I'm going for Khamzat Chimaev to win by a TKO KO against Nathan Diaz, and that's +110. Now, it's funny actually, I was looking on best fight odds there, and they don't have the betting up for this, so I'm actually getting this from one of the Irish, no free ads, so no, from one of the Irish betting organisations. And he's +110 over there to win that. They've betting for Nick Diaz in a fight as well. He's only you know, against Chimaev, which is a fight that we hope we'll never see. But be careful with that as well, just in case. But +110 Chimaev to win by TKO KO against Nathan Diaz this weekend. Look, it's very interesting to talk about how we think this fight will go. I've been talking to a few people about it, obviously, and doing different previews and different spots and things. And I think most people have the opinion here that Nathan Diaz is going to go all out to win this fight. Has prepared like an absolute madman to prove the UFC wrong, you know, to get one over on Chimaev. And he probably feels he has a way that he can win the fight, which is something, to be fair to Nathan Diaz, he often does feel when me or you or a lot of people probably talking about the fight don't have that feeling whatsoever. You know, he had it for Leon Edwards, okay, didn't win the fight, and lots of fights he doesn't win them, but to have that feeling, to have that mental kind of fortitude is a massive thing. And I think it's something Nathan has more than Nick, and you know, to not get him mixed up is probably a wise thing to do here. A much better fighter, I think, as well. Nathan was, especially, you know, in modern mixed martial arts, but it was easier for him, I suppose, because he came later, and then his brother to rely on to get all those improvements from him. But I think, and my point there is that I think a lot of people, that leads them to believe that Nathan will put on a good showing here, when not maybe necessarily winning. And and I can see their points. I don't think I necessarily agree, though. Like, I think Nathan is very much viewing this fight, from what I've heard from him now, and obviously he doesn't do that many interviews or anything like that, but it just seems like he's looking at this as, this is my last UFC fight. I have to take this fight to get out of the place. I don't think the necessity of winning or losing is a massive thing here for Nathan Diaz. I think the biggest necessity he has here is to get out of the UFC. And when that's the case, I don't know that he will... Like, Nathan Diaz is a funny guy, and the Diaz brothers are funny guys. They take pride almost more in putting on a fight, putting on a show, putting up a performance than they do in winning. And like, almost the ultimate disrespect for them is not to put up a fight, you know? And not to say Nathan has done that before, but there are certain fights where he's been more prepared than others, if you want to put it that way. And if this is one of those fights, I think Chimaev will absolutely destroy him. Like, destroy him badly early. And if it's not, I think he'll finish him too. so a prepared Nathan Diaz, an unprepared Nathan Diaz. I just think Chimaev is going to be, first of all, too big, second of all, too strong, and third of all, too dominant. I think he's just going to pick him up, ragdoll him, put him on the ground. Like, I was doing a podcast the other day and I go, look, maybe Nathan Diaz will get a triangle. And when you're talking about someone maybe winning via triangle in MMA in 2022, you're in an awful state of affairs looking for ways for them to win. I think Chimaev is going to absolutely gut him here. I think he's just going to destroy him. I think he's going to pick him up, pull him around the cage, like Daemon Targaryen with the crab feeder, like cut him in half and pull him around. I really do. I think he's just going to absolutely destroy him. Now, a win here for Nathan would be to kind of land a late punch, or you know, something like that, make him tired, win the last round. I just don't think, like, it's funny to say, I don't think Chimaev has kind of the default in his game that Leon Edwards has. Leon Edwards is the champion now and everything, but I think that's kind of true. Like, I think Leon is easier got to than a Chimaev, and even then I didn't think he would get to Leon. So maybe there's a point in that for Nathan, but I just... Look, the Diaz brothers have always struggled with their takedown defense and with wrestling, and I think he'll struggle on the feet as well against Chimaev because he hits very hard. The difference is, like, if you go back and look at the McGregor fights, McGregor didn't want to go to the ground with him when he hit him hard. Chimaev, if he hits him hard and knocks him down, will be happy to go to the ground with him, jump into his guard, land elbows, land ground and pound. And I just don't think he can survive that. He's as tough as nails, has an unbelievable chin, has only been finished a couple of times. But that almighty barrage, I don't think he will have, like, Chimaev will have the same things coming back at him that he did in that Gilbert Burns fight to make him kind of pay. And if he can just keep walking through and walking through and walking through, I don't think this is the sort of one where he gets tired because he spends 3 rounds destroying him. I think it's the type of one where the destruction kind of leads to a stoppage. I could see it similar, something like a doctor stoppage, a cut stoppage or something like that with elbows, but I think it's going to be a TKO KO for Chimaev either way. Actually, if it is a doctor stoppage, does that count as TKO KO? I don't know. Someone needs to, like, call in the TMO here, the assistant referee, but yeah, I think he'll finish him anyway inside the distance. Plus 110, I think that's great value. Now, that might, obviously I said that's from an Irish betting firm there, so maybe that'll change, or maybe it's different over in the States, but that's the price it is here anyway. Right, my next bet of the week, I'm going for Tom Breese over in KSW. He's minus 163, and I'm going for him to beat Damian Janikowski. I think before this I'll have a preview out for the whole KSW card, and I broke that fight down in great detail, so you can go and listen to it there. But if anyone knows Janikowski, he's a really, really, really good wrestler. Throws lots of suplexes, although he's been kind of banned from throwing them now. Often gets drawn into battle, so this could be a really, really fun fight. He's a big right hand with a lot of power on it. You know, and obviously that wrestling as well is phenomenal. Won a bronze medal at the 2012 Olympics in Greco-Roman wrestling. Tom Breese in on the other side. You know, I just mentioned Leon Edwards. Tom Breese is one of Leon Edwards' kind of top coaches and one of his, you know, top training partners, and has been for years. At Team Renegade in Birmingham. He won the Levels Fight Championship after falling out of the UFC. He's had a lot of kind of issues mentally, I suppose, and I don't think anyone can question Tom Breese's ability technically inside the cage. And I think going over away from the spotlight, maybe not a lot of people watching in the UFC, or not a lot of people from his hometown maybe being at the fights or anything like that, I think that's a benefit for Tom Breese. And I think having a fight in KSW, and a fight like this in KSW, will be the sort of place where he'll be able to provide a performance as well. So, you know, BJJ black belt, very, very high level on the ground, and a very, very good striker as well. I think Breese will be able to use his size here. I think he'll be able to keep him at bay. And if Janikowski does get kind of drawn into a war, I think that'll kind of play into Breeze's hands a little bit. He has loads of power as well. Very, very good technical fighter. And it's the sort of one where I could see Janikowski coming in, getting caught with something inside, maybe her pushed against the cage, you know, maybe get finished at the start of the next round or something like that. I really think this is a sort of fight Breese will win in that area. Now, if he gets taken down, it's going to be issues, and against the cage as well, he needs to be very careful, because, you know, the Greco background of Janikowski and the suplexes and everything like that as well. He has to be careful. It's not an easy fight by any means, but I like Breese here. I like his boxing, I like his power, I like his size to win this fight. And even if it does go to the ground, he has that BJJ black belt as well. Really, really high level there. And I talk to a lot of people in the UK, and they'll tell you about Tom Breese and how good he is on the ground. So yeah, I'm going for Breese here, -163 over in KSW. While we're here, we might as well talk about, and you know, I'll wait till the end, I'll talk about some of the other KSW prices there then. Right, my third bet of the week, and this bet is not by any means assured, but I looked at this price, and it's Tony Ferguson at +266 to beat Li Jingliang. I just couldn't turn it down, to be honest. I could not turn it down. Like, Lee is a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He's maybe not had the best run over the last while. And Tony Ferguson has definitely not had the best run over the last while, to put it mildly. But he's now gone up to welterweight. He will, I think the weight cut was a thing that was a hindrance for Tony Ferguson for a while. You even look at him, he looks very drawn in. I think that extra bit of timber on him will help him to take shots. It will help him to put out the game plan that he likes to put out, where it's go forward, kind of make you quit sort of game plan. And I don't think he'll necessarily make Jingliang quit, but I think he could put him under enough pressure where he exploits. I think like Jingliang is a very good all-around fighter, and it's easy to look at Chimaev fight and say, I got picked up and taken down. But there's been a couple of fights where he has maybe shown a slight wrestling vulnerability, especially when kind of pushed backwards. If Ferguson can push him back, maybe get a double leg, get the fight to the ground, I think it's an area where Tony Ferguson can win this fight. Now, I think to do that, Tony Ferguson probably need a smarter game plan than he's used to outputting. And a smarter game plan maybe with his insane go forward game plan that he normally has. So I think it kind of has to be a two-part win here for Tony Ferguson. I understand why Jingliang is the favourite, with Ferguson going up in weight and with how his career has been going recently. Like, this is the type of one, right, where you make this bet knowing that it could be the last time you ever bet on Tony Ferguson. Because if he loses this fight, that kind of, I think, is it for Tony Ferguson at the highest level there. I've had a few of these fights recently, and I could be wrong. I had one with Tyron Woodley against Vicente Luque. It was a while ago now, but when he lost that fight, you just knew his time at the top level was gone. You know, it was donezo at that stage. And I think it's the same here for Tony Ferguson. This is his last, you know, breath, I suppose. I think at his prime, even with the weight class differential, I think he's a very good matchup in terms of, or Jingliang is a very good matchup for Tony Ferguson. These days, like, if they get into a boxing match, who's probably going to get hurt more. Maybe it will be Ferguson, you know. And if Ferguson takes that backward step, I think it certainly will be him. And if he gets pushed against the cage, I think it certainly will be him who's probably on the losing side of that as well. So he has to have that go forward, in my opinion. And he has to get this fight to the ground, I think, as well, and get on top. And look, if he can get the back and get a submission, all well and good. But I think that price of 260 plus 266, I think it's just about tempting enough. If it was plus 150, I don't think I'd go for it. Even if it was plus 200, I don't think I'd go for it. But I am betting the price. I did this a couple of weeks ago and it paid off for me. I am betting the price here more than anything else. That's a tempting enough last ever bet in Tony Ferguson price, if you want to put it that way. Now, that bet probably should be my flyer, but I have another flyer, so I'm gonna. And do you know what? I like my flyer bet more than I like this bet, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I'm going for my third bet of the week, Tony Ferguson. Straight up plus 266. Maybe not. Right, my fourth bet of the week and my final of the four, and then we'll have the flyer, is Hakeem Dawodu at minus 205 to beat Julian Erosa. I'm not sure if this fight, maybe I'll be able to look it up here while I'm on with everyone, but is this a short notice fight? Let me have a look here again. It must be, because like this matchmaking makes very little. And I actually don't think it is. It is a short notice fight. So they just made this fight, Julian Erosa versus Hakeem Dawodu. It makes very little sense to me. Like, Dawodu is this type of guy who I think is like on the way up to be a top 5 type, top 6 type of guy. Okay, he lost to Flier a couple of fights ago and he came back and he beat a Trezano, but he was on a good win streak before that and everything. And now look, you look at Erosa as well, and okay, he has some good wins over Jordan and Peterson as well, but I don't think he has that win or you know, maybe the impressiveness of what Dawodu has done in his career to date. I think it's one of those fights where Dawodu is probably winning this by decision. I would think. I just think he's too strong everywhere. Julian Erosa's takedown defense, I don't think, is magnificent, and I think Dawodu has a good, you know, a good all around game, good wrestling, and good at taking guys down. And you know, maybe I'm going a little bit too far by saying he's, you know, going to be cracking the top 5 or something like that. Maybe cracking the top 15 at that weight class, but I just think that look, I talked about the setback against Ivlaev, and it was a decision as well. And it was he's only lost since 2018 against Danny Henry, and you know, it was one of 2 losses in his career, where Julian Erosa has kind of felt that a little bit more. Every time I see Hakeem Dawodu, I kind of think that this guy is going to kick on, and you know, as I said, his last 3 in a row. The last 4 in a row, all decisions, 1 loss and 3 wins. And it's a little bit like, you know, Sadiq Yusuf as well as another guy who kind of has made that kick on and is similar sort of fighter, I think. And they have all the kind of the physical attributes. They have all the technical attributes just to put it all together. I think Julian Erosa is a good matchup for Dawodu. And I think it's the type of fight where Dawodu will come in here early. Erosa will throw a lot of shots, a barrage shots. He'll step under, take him down, and I think that'll kind of be the end of the fight, because he will know, and not necessarily the end of the fight right there, but I think he will know after that this guy is only going to fight this way, and if I try to control this fight, I can win it. Now, Erosa is very good actually in not letting lads control him, and that's the one tough thing I think here for Dawodu, but I think he's smart enough, good enough, physical enough to be able to control Erosa more than most guys, while being able to land lots of shots. To control itself, obviously, he's not going to win it, but if there's 5 minutes of control and the other guy's not allowed to land or not able to land anything, you know, we know who's going to win that round if they land a bit themselves. So that's just the route I see this fight going, to be honest. I just think it'll be one of those Erosa, just, you know, if you're a fan, let's say, of Erosa, and he gets back up to his feet, that's one of those ones, okay, now's your chance, and boom, takedown. I think it's going to be one of those frustrating fights. Now, having said that, Dawodu, I'm sure, maybe will try to test it on the feet a little bit, but as I say again, he'll probably get to the area where there is an easier opportunity to get the W, and I think he'll take it. So yeah, I'm going for Dawodu there to win that one. And the price on that one is minus 205. So minus 205 there for that one. Right, my flyer of the week is an interesting one enough, and I'm going for Johnny Walker, Ireland's own Johnny Walker. I think didn't Dawodu train in SPG for us either, so Hakeem, Ireland's own Hakeem Dawodu as well. Johnny Walker, I'm going to go for him to win by TKO KO in round 1 at plus 650, right? Plus 650. I'm a big fan of this bet. He's fighting Ian Cutelaba, 16-7-1. Got knocked out in the first round in his last fight. 3 fights ago before that, got knocked out in the first round. The fight before that, got knocked out in the first round. Come on, lads. Come on, Johnny Walker. Plus 650. I think this is a crazy price. I think this is going to be my first flyer bet that's going to have worked out in ages. Because I think Johnny Walker has improved in all areas. Okay, he's had a bit of issues himself, and he's fought. Like, I think people are probably betting and looking at the Jamal Hill fight a bit too much, because that's Jamal Hill to me is. I'm going to say it, right? And here's the comment section where they go mad at me. The best light heavyweight in the world right now. I think he is. I think he's that good. I think he's fantastic. Obviously, you know, Yuri Prochazka and Vadim Nimkov and a few other lads, I'm sure will have something to say about that. Glover Teixeira and Jan Blachowicz and others. But I think he's right up there. And okay, he got knocked out in the first round by him. But Cutelaba is no Jamal Hill. Cutelaba is no Jamal Hill. He's no Thiago Santos either, I don't think. And Cutelaba will come out and he will let those hands fly because he'll have seen what happened in the last fight. If Johnny Walker is at any way smart, he will just stand back, wait for him to throw those shots, wait for him to stand there in the pocket as he invariably does, and throw one big counter right hand and knock him out. And God Almighty, if that doesn't happen, we can forget about Johnny Walker. We can forget about it, because this is the type of matchup that Johnny Walker just has to win. He has to win this sort of matchup. And I think if he does, I think he'll do it early, because the Thiago Santos Johnny Walker, okay, we looked at the Hill Johnny Walker, we looked at Thiago Santos Johnny Walker, we said one was too aggressive, one wasn't aggressive enough. I think if you go for the non-aggressive one that we saw against Thiago Santos, I think he'll still win this fight by knockout early, really, because Cutelaba will just give it up to him. Now, Cutelaba might catch him as well. If he goes mad altogether like he did against Jamal Hill, he'll probably get caught and knocked out himself. Let's be honest here, because Cutelaba does hit hard. But he's just so open that I really think that the newfound technical ability of Johnny Walker and his length and his size will be just too much. Will be just surely his coaching staff will be telling him, just wait, draw him in, and then boom, hit. Because Cutelaba is the type of guy who will throw 3, 4, 5 fights. Shot fight. But he won't throw 3, 4, 5 shots, stop, and then throw 3, 4, 5 shots more in a kind of a separate entity of combinations. He'll throw 20 shots in a row if he gets you against the cage or gets you hurt, or you just, scramble under or whatever. He will do that. But I really think if Cutelaba thinks the combination is over, if he thinks the series is over after 4 or 5 of his punches, that's the area where you catch him. And I think Johnny Walker can do that. I think he will do that. And plus 650, what a price. Plus 650, I love that price. So there you go. Great price. Right, let's run through some of the bets. I have the Diaz bets here, and the for the Chimaev fight. Let me just look. Oh yeah, I can get him in. I think I can get him in decimal points here, I think. So, oh no, I can't actually. I'm getting you'll have to live with the fractions. I'm sorry, the Americans, just for the main event, but I'll get back to the rest of them for the rest. So Chimaev is 12-1 on. So what's that? Plus minus 1200 or is it minus 1100? I'm not sure now. 12-1 on. 11-2 Nathan Diaz. So that's plus 550 there, I believe. Yeah. I think that's just about right, if I'm being honest. The Chimaev 11-10 for KO TKO to win on points 6-1. So the judges, or the betting crew, doesn't think it'll go to the judges. To win by submission 8-5, so less than 2-1 there. What is that, around plus 175 or something like that, or plus 150 ish? Yeah, I think Diaz, he might get submitted, but I think it's more than likely a TKO KO here. And it's all over plus 600, 1600 even for Diaz. 16-1 KO, 20-1 points, 17-1 via submission there for him. The round betting, Chimaev's a favourite to finish it in the first, 15-8, if you like that. How will the fight end? KO, to just someone to win the KO is a 10-11 submission, 13-10, so plus 1300 there, and 92 for the fight to go to a decision. You know, not a bad bet, maybe. Not a bad bet there, but we'll see how that goes anyway. Right, let's look at some of the other fights here on UFC 279. Daniel Rodriguez plus 169 minus 194 against Kevin Holland. Never a great one for betting on Kevin Holland, to be honest, although I think I might have given him once before, but that's probably why I'm not a great one to bet on Kevin Holland, to be honest. Yeah, I think he's probably rightly the favourite, but I believed in Kevin Holland once, and I think for a lot of people that believed in Kevin Holland once and then stopped believing in him, so it's very hard to kind of get back on that train, but we'll see, I suppose. Jingliang minus 316 plus 266 for Ferguson. I'm going for Ferguson there based on that price. I just think it's a little bit too wide, if I'm being honest. Cutelaba is a minus 225 favourite over Johnny Walker. I think that's mad, to be honest. Plus 190 Johnny Walker. I think Walker should be favourite there, for being honest, but I don't know. Irina Aldana minus 175. That's a good fight there. Plus 150 against Macy Chiasson. That was one of my bets I was looking at. Honestly, I was going to give Aldana there, but there's something about Chiasson that I just I don't know. I would fear for Aldana a small bit. I do think she'll win, but yeah, I will. I just avoided that one, to be honest. Julian minus 135 for Pickett, and he is plus 115 to Julian. Dawodu, as I mentioned, minus 205, plus 175 for Erosa. Turkali, plus 550. Jailton Almeida, minus 700. Now, Almeida is one of these guys. Let's see what the Almeida submission price is if it's up. It is minus 150. That tells you a lot. I think he will probably win by submission. Charles Barnett against Jake Collier. The prop for the KO isn't up yet, but the under 2.5 rounds is minus 115. I like that there. Minus 425 for Collier. I think that's just about right. Plus 325 for Barnett. Arlinger plus 135. Ali Alatang, who I'm a big fan of. I think he's a good fighter, and I think he will win that fight. Minus 155. Daniel Wolf on your second ever pro MMA fight. Big underdog here, plus 310. Norma Demant, who I think is a very good fighter, minus 375. Look, it depends how special Daniel Wolf is, you know, coming over. Where's he coming from? Boxing or somewhere, isn't it? An interesting fight, but yeah, I think that the odds are right there. Elise Reed minus plus 148. Melissa Martinez minus 173, the favourite, and Darian Weeks against Johan Linnes, minus 119 for Weeks, just about the favourite against Linnes, minus 101. Oh, I don't know there. The betting for the TKO KO isn't out in that yet. I like Linnes KO there, so if you can get the betting on that, maybe during the week, maybe it'll be plus 200 or 300. I would go with that one. So yeah, we will leave it there. I'll recap my bets again. Go for a Chimaev to win in the main event against Nathan Diaz at plus 110 to win by TKO KO. Tom Breese over KSW to beat Damian Janikowski, minus 163. Plus 226 for Tony Ferguson against Jingliang. Hakeem Dawodu against Julian Erosa is minus 205. And Johnny Walker to knock out Ian Cutelaba in the first round at plus 650. The big one for the Flier this week. Should be good. Should be good. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Sheehan for Sherdog.com. I'll see you all next time.